Okay, we're here with Claire Lopez, who has just finished her talk on Islam, the Muslim Brotherhood, and Huma. Can you pronounce her last name for me?
Huma Abedin.
Abedin. I should be able to say it by now, but I can't. Pretty decent crowd here. Can you very quickly sum up the case?
Sure. In mid-June this year, 2012, a group of 5 United States representatives of Congress, led by Michelle Bachmann, also Trent Franks, Louis Gohmert, Lynn Westmoreland, and Tom, I've forgotten one.
Well, it doesn't matter. It was all in the...
sent letters to the Inspectors General of 5 United States organizations, 4 cabinet departments, Department of Defense, Homeland Security, Department of Justice, and Department of State, and also to the Inspector General of the Office of the Director of National Intelligence, and asked those Inspector Generals to look at, investigate the penetration by the Muslim Brotherhood of the United States government, in particular in foreign policy circles, because there is a noticeable shift in recent years towards the Muslim Brotherhood, favoring, empowering, emboldening, enriching the Muslim Brotherhood by the official policy of the United States.
Now, we talked a little bit about, when you were discussing this infiltration, how a lot of it started in the Clinton years but has been much stronger in terms of the changes in foreign policy in the Obama years. How much of this is due to financial influence, money going into campaigns from the Saudis and the people who support these folks? And how much of this do you think is ideological?
I think a great deal of it is ideological, and it goes back many presidents. It's not just the most recent one or the most recent 2. It goes back, really, if you want to think about it, to at least World War II. It is ideological, but obviously funding from Saudi Arabia and the very wealthy Gulf states of the Persian Gulf have enabled the rise of this influence, the spread of the influence of Islamic Jihad and Sharia in a way not possible before the beginning of the oil boom.
Now, you have decades in the CIA, but you weren't focused in this area. Were you surprised at how deep and how many tentacles there were connecting the various players in this game?
I really began looking at the Middle East and Islam after 9/11, I think probably like a lot of people. And yes, I mean, it's been a long study. I'm still studying, I'm still learning, and every time I look, there are deeper and more tentacles, just as you say.
You mentioned in your presentation that just about all of this stuff is available online, including the mission statements of things like the Muslim Brotherhood and Al-Qaeda, and all of these things that blatantly say what they want to do. To what degree is this denial among people, or is it just a question of, if I acknowledge this, then I have to do something about it, or
well,
what?
It's all of the above, really. It is the deep-seated belief that, number one, this couldn't possibly be true, even though they haven't done the research to substantiate that position. But it's also due to the infiltration and the influence operations of a very sophisticated organization, that is the Muslim Brotherhood, which has influenced top levels of the United States government foreign policy to believe that there really is no threat, or rather that the real threat comes from the kinetic violence, the visible, very in-your-face violence of Al-Qaeda. That's the enemy, that's the bad guys. And so when you have an organization like the Muslim Brotherhood, which is not at the moment in the United States violent, but obviously so in other places like Egypt and Syria and elsewhere. But when you have that organization here, in nice suits and talking in sophisticated, articulate ways with policy leaders, with congressmen, the idea that they pose a threat is hard for many Americans to accept.
Now, Claire, where can people find you online if they want more information on this?
I would suggest a couple of places. You can go to the Center for Security Policy, a think tank in Washington, D.C., and we have published there, I'm a fellow at the center, we have published a book called Sharia, The Threat to America, that is the Team B2 report. There is a website where you can either download that as a free PDF, or you can also buy it online at Amazon. And the other place that I might recommend would be to the new 10-part video course created by Frank Gaffney and others at the Center for Security Policy, The Muslim Brotherhood in America. And that 10-part video course is also online and available free, MuslimBrotherhoodinAmerica.org, and can be viewed in segments. Each one is about 40 or 45 minutes long, time permitting. And I think that would be a very good place to start for more information about this subject.
Claire Lopez, thank you for your time at the end of a very long presentation and a long day.
My pleasure.